Okay, I'm here.
Well, a very good evening. Welcome to the men's 105 kilo class. Competition with 11 competitors here, 131 kilos, 16 and a half stone. And amongst the contenders tonight, two Russians, Dmitriy Klokov and also Kazimierz Akayev. Pretty well matched, as you can see in what we have here in the Disneyland Dome, a packed house. Let's meet the competitors. This is the first of two Iranians. This is Mohammad Reza Barati from the north of Iran, from the town of Sari. And here's his teammate, Nawab Nasir Shalal, who comes right from the south, junior world bronze medalist 3 years ago. Kazimierz Akayev is the reigning European champion, won that in Kazan in April of this year. And the Polish represented here in this class not by Marcin Dowenga, the man who's won it for the last 2 years, but by Bartolomew Bonk, who was third in the Europeans in Kazan. Sergei Istebin represents Kazakhstan. He was third in the Asian Championships this year. And so to the second of the Russians, the Olympic silver medalist Dmitry Klokov, whose dad was a world champion back in 1979 in, I think, a very similar weight class. Obviously, the categories have changed since then. Mikhail Altzev from Belarus, fourth in Europe this year. And representing Korea, this is Kim Chul-min. No recent form, so interesting to see how he progresses. Posted a total of 405 kilos, right up there. Mokuba Yanni of Georgia. European silver medal. And Georgia, who've got a good record at these sort of weight classes. Alexi Torokhtiy represents the Ukraine. He was the bronze medalist in Europe last year in Minsk. And completing the field and representing Uzbekistan, Ivan Efremov, runner-up in last season's Asian Games. A 21 kilo spread across the entry totals. The highest of the entry totals, well, 422 kilos from Kazimierz Akayev of Russia. These are the past champions, and I just mentioned Marcin Dowenga, unfortunately out, unable to compete because of shoulder surgery. And that's a big loss for Poland. The world records here, well, the snatch, 200 kilos set in the Olympics by Andrei Aramnov of Belarus. But here we can see the best lifts in the B group. Now, 214 kilos. This is Kornel Chiko from Poland.
Well, he's staggering around quite a bit to say that.
Yeah, actually, that was a clean and jerk rather than the snatch attempt.
Yeah, we'll, I think, see that eclipsed by quite a margin, David, tonight in the A group.
Yeah, 180 kilos is the best in the snatch phase by body weight in the B group, and that's 180 kilos. Vladimir Sedov of Kazakhstan. So once again, a very good evening and welcome to the Dome Disneyland as we get underway with this 105 kilo championship of the world with Randy Strossen of Iron Mind and myself, David Goldstrom. So sit back and enjoy the action. This promises to be yet another competitive category here. Lots of opportunity, and we start with 170 kilos on the bar for the first of two Iranian competitors. And this is Mohammad Reza Barati from Sari in the north of his country, 23 years of age. Haven't seen much of him since the World Championships last year when he was in the top 15, total 377. And a good start towards his ambition of trying to total up to 401.
Doesn't really blister this lift, but that doesn't matter. You don't get style points. He does the most important thing. It's a successful lift. Snatches in one motion, bar goes up, body goes down, he stands up, down, waits for the down signal.
And this sport of weightlifting, one of 3 in which the Iranians will look for medals in the London 2012 Olympic Games. This and wrestling and also taekwondo. Those are their 3 main hopes, which, if I've got it right, will all be in the Excel Centre in London, close to the Royal Docks, and that'll be Docklands Light Railway if you want to get out there to see it, if you're lucky enough to have a ticket. But
wrestling and weightlifting for sure there, I know that.
Yeah, and I think the taekwondo won't be far away either.
Okay. Yeah.
So now the Korean has moved up over the years. I mean, he was a pretty good junior at 85 kilos, but that's sort of like 7 years ago. Interesting to see what he can do here at 172. Terrific speed, very little adjustment with the feet. Happy with that, Randy?
Absolutely. I also like to think that maybe we can keep this little roll going here. We've had some difficulty with consistency in lifters here. Not the case so far. He sticks us, as you say, David, doesn't have to chase the bar after. Nice lift.
And just to reiterate, a very good lifter, actually, Vladimir Sedov of Kazakhstan, who 2 years ago in Goyang won the 94-kilo championship of the world, moved up by Alexi Torokhtiy to the 105 kilos and produced a total of 385 in the B group. That isn't quite the best, 386 is, but he was superior in the snatch phase with 180 kilos, and that's what they're all chasing at the moment. So here comes the second of the Iranians, the bar going to 175. Again, not a lifter that we've seen much of for a couple of years. There's those big red weights, each 25 kilos.
Color-coded so that everybody knows what the weight is on the bar instantly.
So Nabab Nazir Shalal, who, unlike his teammate, comes from the south of his country, Iran, which incidentally had snow 3 days ago. I'm reliably informed. Winter has arrived in Tehran. Certainly not here in Disneyland and Paris. It's like spring here. And spring would be an appropriate word for the first element of that.
Yeah, really powerful coil springs. He has to adjust at the bottom. What we mean by that is the bar and the body don't go to exactly the ideal landing places, and so you shift one or the other. In this case, the body gets moved, under it staggers forward a couple steps. That's fine. You know, it's not textbook, but it's good enough for 3 white lights.
So this is the representative from Belarus, Mikhail Adzeyev, 29 years of age, so experienced, 4th in Europe this year. He'd be about 15 to 17 kilos off the leaders in terms of posted totals, but that's pretty solid as a starter.
Very fluid, very fluid. Watch this lift. Talked about the lifters having to make adjustments. He didn't. This is going to look as if he did it on rails. Look at this. Nice lift.
This is the man who missed out on the bronze medal at the European Championships to the Polish lifter who's in this class tonight, Bartolomei Bon, and he missed out, I should say, by just body weight. So Ivan Efremov going for 3rd place in the snatch, and the Uzbekistan team on the medal roster in the 94 kilo class earlier.
Looks very tall and rangy, doesn't he? It looks as if he's got long arms, which can help in the snatch, work against him possibly in the jerk. But you got to work with the body you have. Nice lift. Once again, that is very fluid. No jerky movements in this. Everything's going where it's supposed to.
Well, this is a lot more like it. This is what first lifts should be about. You know, you've done them goodness knows how many times, and usually the coach will make sure that the opening one is something that you can readily accomplish. And then the pressure goes on.
Right.
The pressure goes on from the coach because he's pushing you to what he believes you can do, but he also is pushing you in the context of what everybody else is doing. So now Barati, first man to take a second attempt, and this is a 5 kilo increase. Still 5 kilos short of Sedov, the best man in the B group earlier on today. Look at those arms, right out at the extremity of the bar.
Misses it behind, probably because he was swinging the bar in about the midpoint of the pull. Watch right here. If he bangs it with his hips, they'll tend to send it in an arc, making it fly over behind his head.
So that's the first reversal.
But you know, this is probably the longest successful streak we've had all week.
And this 105 group, looking at some openers here, 190 for Akayev. That'll be interesting.
He's the big snatcher in the group on paper. And you see it reflected in that opener, that stated opener. Lifters, of course, aren't tied to those openers. They're just required to put something in, and they can change. In fact, they can change it twice before they come out.
And Barati having to follow himself here. So moves on to the stage for a third attempt. Very difficult to really gauge, you know, how he is and where he is. I mean, he's better already with the 170 than he did in finishing in 14th place in the World Championships in Antalya last year. But to be perfectly honest, talking to our Iranian colleagues, they were saying that, you know, whereas they were delighted to get the bronze medal earlier this afternoon in the 94 kilos, they don't have huge expectations in this class. They do tomorrow afternoon with the men's super heavyweights, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, well, they've got their finger on the pulse, and they're telling us what they're really thinking, you know, as far as gauging how their team will do. This is just not a world-class performance snatch-wise.
Yeah, I mean,
class.
He lost it behind and now loses it in front effectively. But as I said, he's only 23, and we move along now to the first attempt for Ukraine, and this is Alexi Torokhtiy. Torokhtiy, who bronze medaled in the European Championships in Minsk in 2010, so last season, and actually did a total there of 396 and made 50% of his lifts. And generally, when you look down, he's been a 50%er in recent times. Not better than that. So on the basis of what I've just said, Randy, he definitely needs to make the first attempt.
Nice lift. See, he listened to you, David. And one of the indications is that this is well done. Watch his feet as he finishes the lift. He doesn't have to chase the bar. He doesn't have to move his feet front and back. He just put things where they're supposed to be. Has to pull them together a little bit for the referee to get the down signal, and nicely executed.
Best numbers for him? Well, they came up in the Europeans in 2009 when he did a 181 and a 225 for a 405.
Kaya, look at that wrestling shirt. What that's about.
And just to separate these two in a sort of different way, that's Akayev with the blue shorts, and his teammate Klokov's got the red.
He was certainly relaxed looking, wasn't he? I mean, for a guy about to start the World Championships.
Sergei Istomin for Kazakhstan, the Asian bronze medalist of the current season. 178 opener. Wow, and that was easy.
Well, they've got some positive momentum here tonight after that performance of Ilya Ilyin in the 94 kilo class, and you can't help but think that would fire up the team. Here it comes. Nice lift. You know, we're seeing some well-executed snatches. Snatch can look really ugly. If you get someone who's not talented at the lift, not athletic, it's going to look awful, plus they'll miss it. These guys are lifting pretty big weights by now. We're up to 178 and doing it well.
So Kim Chulmin coming in for 178. Now this is a 6 kilo increase. He's currently in 8th place, but this would whip him up into bronze medal position. Just to say, remember, we haven't got to 180 yet, so still set off from the B group, the former world champion at 94 kilos, leading at the moment. Oh, what a pity. How close was that, Randy?
Yeah, I tried to save it. You know, that balance point is really narrow on the snatch, and you can see he's fighting to hang on to this. We'll see when he hits the bottom position. It goes a little back. He pulls it forward, and he actually overcorrects a little bit in the shifting of his body into the bar.
He's got one more go, and he handled the weight, so hopefully he can, you know, just come out and get this absolutely spot perfect.
Just got to put the bar and his body in the right spot. That's all. You know.
Oh, if it was that easy.
Well, think about it. He's got to rip 178 kilos off the ground to approximately chest height, reverse directions with his body, get underneath, catch it on extended arms, and stand up. That's all. And it's all done in less than a second.
And those of you who'd like to be coached by Coach Strossen, just
send your money to P.O. Box.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got to follow himself 178, which gives us a moment just to reflect on this particular class. There have been some really good winners over the years. Andrei Aramanov, of course, he won the Olympic title and in 2007, but he's run into a different sort of set of problems. Marcin Dawenga, though, it's a pity he's not here because he's won this title on 3 occasions. Dmitriy Klokov, who's in tonight's field, won this title back in 2005. So Kim with bags of time, more than half a minute.
I'm starting to think it's pretty heavy weight for him. It might show up in the instant replay. He will try to break the bar off the platform to get it going and then actually start the lift. Reminiscent of Naim Suleimano used to do that and just does not get the elevation on this.
So we move on to 179 kilos on the bar, and this is still only going to go into silver medal position.
Klokov, who besides being a good lifter, muscular physique and everything, you can count on him, I think, to inject a little drama into the evening later tonight. Could maybe be a reserve for the Lithuanian drama team. Not sure who that was on camera with Dr. Thomas Ion. The man on the left, Dr. Ion, is president of the International Weightlifting Federation.
Georgia, Mokuba Yanni, European runner-up this year. Well, he might look around, but it was pretty rough around the edges.
Yeah, not pretty to look at it. He might like to end that the way Piros Dimas did, looking back and forth, but the execution certainly wasn't a la Piros Dimas.
Absolutely. So, traditional little prayer, looking for a bit of guidance and a bit of help. Nothing wrong in that. 180. We're on the same weight as the B group, but body weight would only put him into second place. if he gets this. And this would be very good.
This guy's fast under the bar, huh?
He is really fast.
Pumps the hips, I'm sorry, David, to get going. Build up a little extra velocity there, catch something on the rebound, and then when we say fast, that means really not so much the bar coming off the platform fast, but accelerating up and then the body going really fast under the bar. Watch this at the top, boom, underneath.
And he goes, as I say, to second place because Sedov, who has got 180 from the B group, is mega light. I mean, you know, he weighed in at what, 94 kilos. He was literally just over the 94 kilo limit.
Had to drink some water, probably.
Now, Adzeev for Belarus.
It looked so easy until the bar came tumbling down. He just doesn't quite get this fixed overhead. Pulls it up, reverses directions really easily. This will give us a good idea of how precise the snatch has to be. Little shrug, that's how you finish the pull in the snatch. People think it was a deadlift and then an upright row. It's not. It's more like a deadlift and then a violent shrug as far as the pull goes. No arms, it's all back at the end.
The bar cleaned off by the loaders for Ivan Efremov, who, as you can see, is going to take a 5 kilo increase here on his second attempt. Still inside what he achieved in Guangzhou last season in the Asian Games when he was the runner-up there. That was never going to happen from the moment he lifted that off the stage.
I actually had some hope for it, David. So what was it that caught your eye right away?
Just have a look at it. The balance went.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you could just, he was actually not balanced. As that bar came off, he was losing his balance the moment that he started to lift that bar.
I could see the bar tilting, but I thought no big deal for him as far as that goes. But, I mean, he never does get the lockout.
So, straight away on stage here, Adzeev to try and save here 180. And still Sedov, the 94 kilo lifter, effectively still leading this class. And that'll only take him into fourth place because of body weight. But what he does do is it keeps him nearer to the action. But remember, you've still got Akayev to start. You've got Bartolomei Bonk for Poland to start. Also to get involved, you've got Dmitriy Klokov. So
that was a great shot right before that, David, showing how close the bar has to be to the body for efficient lifting. That's also, by the way, why some of these lifters have pretty scraped up shins. You really prefer no contact, but the bar needs to be very close.
Спинку держим и работать.
yeah, and plenty of honoured guests here, including the French Minister of Sport, who's here to witness these championships. That's a chap called David Doulet, two-time Olympic judo champion. Alexi Torokhtiy for the Ukraine. Ukraine have got a great record. Razorenov, Dennis Gottfried, they've all won this title back in the late 90s. Torokhtiy will do awfully well to join them today, but he's made 181, so well done.
Good shot of illustrating the second pole, as it's called in weightlifting. Bar from, maybe mid-thigh height on up. It's where the bar is really accelerating. It's where the lift is either like the make or break zone as far as the pole goes. This coach's boss is studying the boards. Ivan Korovi, he was the coach of Kaki Kakishvili, among other lifters. Also, the missing Simon Koleshki from the last class, sometimes in this class.
182 kilos, second attempt for strategy.
Studying the board, who's going to lift what, how many attempts, so that they can gauge their lifter's progress in the warm-up room.
So Istomin on 182, and this for the lead in the snatch.
Noted, at this time he has one more attempt.
Might notice that his grip was quite a bit narrower than some of the other guys. You might wonder why. If you don't have very flexible shoulders, or if you have long arms, you're going to be most likely to go out collar to collar with that grip. You could see he was significantly narrower than that.
So Torokhtiy leads.
Klokov pacing. He's going to start to turn into the carnivore. We're going to see Mr. Paleo Man here before the evening's over, I think. Tremendous crowd. I have never seen a crowd at a World Weightlifting Championships that has been demonstrated such great sportsmanship and enthusiasm. Have you, David? I mean, there's no partisanship. There's tremendous enthusiasm. They've helped lifters. They've rallied behind guys. And, of course, they got the reward last night.
So Istomin coming out here for 182 to go into the lead.
I'm not sure he seemed fully committed at the end of that lift. Did you think, David? I mean, it looked like just slight hesitation at the bottom, and you've got to just snap on that bar. Stretch it. It's got to be violent at the end. Really aggressive finish.
And the bar going to 184 now for Mr. Mokuba Yanni of Georgia.
Quite the send-off. That's just to adrenalize him a little bit.
$4 increase. This second attempt for the Georgian.
Wow. Oh. Boy, I thought he was going to end up going over. We could see the right knee punching into the platform. He sticks with the lift, and it was worth it. It's a 3 white light success.
Yeah, but not exactly as the diagram suggests in the training manual.
Yeah, theory and practice diverge, but where they converge is that the ultimate goal is, the one he achieved, which is make the lift. So in that sense, it's good.
So where we are now, as you see this man pick up 184, that's 16 kilos short, nonetheless, of the world record that was set in the Olympic Games by Andrei Aronov, who was subsequently disqualified for a doping infringement, which just taints these records a little bit because he also holds the overall world record. But this is the European bronze medalist at 185, Bartolomei Bonk, in a way, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, substituting for Marcin Dowenga, the defending champion, who can't be here. But that was excellent. And maybe without the shadow of Marcin and having the stage to himself, this could be his night.
Nice lift.
Very nice lift.
And Marcin, of course, is just a stellar snatcher.
Bartolomei, mature, 27, been around a long time, moved up the weight categories, junior world champion back 7 years ago, as we now revert to the Iranian who, prior to coming on stage this evening, who had achieved the most of the pair.
Whoa. I don't know. I was starting to think he was going to hang on to that, David. That would have been watch an elbow go. He could have thrown in the towel a lot earlier on that.
Yeah, I'm pleased that he had a really good crack at this.
Watch this. Too bad we can't also see the hips, but you can see from the reaction, obviously, a weight he expected to make, a weight he has no doubt made many times, I would guess, in the past.
So Efremov coming up for his third attempt, but still Mokuba Yanni's got a third attempt. Torokhti's got another attempt, the Georgian and the Ukrainian, and the two Russians, Klokov and Akayev, yet to start. So Efremov, 185. Now this is for first place in the snatch ranking, and this is getting to where it could be very interesting for the bronze medal, perhaps. Unfortunately, that leaves him on 180.
I thought we were going to see an instant replay on that in slow motion. Well, you know, now things are going to start to change. It's really going to heat up now.
Well, what I was going to say was that basically you've got Akayev, Bartolomew Bonk, Russia and Poland, and you've got Dmitriy Klokov. If any of those mess up, then that's why getting this 185 for Torokhtiy here could be very useful, because he'd be on the edge of the bronze medal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Just because they're well ahead of him, their lifts aren't a given. And you're absolutely right. There's no guarantee they're going to make their lifts.
And I think this is a good mark for Torokhtiy here. This is better than we've ever seen him do before. So, again, Ukrainian tradition.
Sitting on 2 successes so far. You know, it was looking good, I thought, David, until that right arm unlocked. He comes off the platform very smoothly, accelerates the bar, gets under there, but just cannot really fix that right arm. Watch the right arm in the bottom position. Just not quite there.
And Dmitry Klokov now, the first of the two Russians to come out to take his first attempt at 187 kilos. As I said in the introduction, son of Vyacheslav, who won a world title back in 1979. That's a very commanding figure on the World Championship stage. The runner-up last year to Marcin Dovenga, lost the title by body weight. Made 5 out of 6 lifts. And this is a relatively conservative opener for him. He could do 192, 193 even. So this for a decent lead. And as Randy said, often the showman, but not yet too early in the piece to start rejoicing or celebrating, and drives up here, just a pace forward to settle. European champion, not this season. That was taken by his teammate, who's yet to open his account, Akayev. But the crowd getting behind the Georgian now, Mokuba Yanni, who's, well, looked particularly ungainly in getting his lifts, but that said, he's made 2 out of 2, 180, 184, 187 for the lead. That's the best of the 3 for a man who doesn't have a great record at high percentage lifting, but that is 187, and You're looking at the leader of the competition and this packed hall here. Everything totally sold out. Some 16 euros the ticket for the competition, 20 if you come for the whole day. And just the whole performance here was so much better. He was more balanced. So Arkaev taking an interest, but Arkaev not going to come into 190. That's what he posted. And Bartholomew Bonk coming in now. Now the first snatch was very good. This is 4 kilos up. And this is definite improvement if he can do this. Half a minute buzzer. For the lead. Oh, and just the movement of the bar taking it behind. He's got one more go. Now Klokov wants 192, Arkaev wants 190, and that means that Bonk is almost certainly going to have to follow himself here. And then it'll be down to the two Russians. Just at this particular moment, it's Mokuba Yanni of Georgia who leads. He's in the lead in the snatch position. He's got the gold medal position at the moment. Dmitriy Klokov, who's had one success at 187, he's in the silver medal position. He is just the heavier, 104.60. Mokuba Yanni weighed in at exactly 104 kilos. And Bonk has decided to take a little bit more time to get ready. There is an inherent risk in this because if he pushes the bar up and he doesn't make it, then he's going to drop all the way back down to 185. And at the moment, Bartholomew Bonk in third place with that 185. So you could say, having secured the bronze medal in the first half of the competition, that he's prepared to take the risk. But now the reigning European champion, bronze medalist at the Olympic Games at 94 kilos. This is Khajimurat Arkaev, a silver Olympic medal, also at 94 kilos, back in Athens 2004. So quite an achiever. Real explosion from Arkaev. And we are now 10 kilos short of the snatch world record. I don't honestly think that we're heading there, even though Khajimurat has 2 attempts at his disposal. So he goes gold. Mokuba Yanni drops to second, Klokov to third, Bonk off the podium. So Bonk has to try to get back onto the podium and is going for 190. He's bought a little time to prepare for this. Failed at 189. 190. If he gets it, he goes into the lead because he's lighter than Arkaev of Russia. Poland versus Russia. And the consequence of that is that he is left in 4th place, and at the moment is 5 kilos off the leader, and it could get worse as the bar goes to 192 for Dmitriy Klokov. It's Russia now. So it's Klokov in red versus Arkaev in blue. There's a little bit of the showmanship. Back in 2005, he had one of those best days of your life when he won the world title. Total up 419. He had an even better day in terms of kilos lifted in the Olympic Games in Beijing. He lifted all 6, this man, for 423, but he still only ended up with the silver medal. Lost the Olympic title to Andrei Adamov, who I've mentioned already, and is a man who's just not available to Belarus anymore after that doping infringement, serving his time for that crime. And Akayev goes to 195, and this is a duel between the two Russians. They are basically very evenly matched here. So Akayev 195, and this is the weight he lifted in Kazan in the European Championships. Only his second attempt. Mokuba Yanni in third place, but this would pull away from the Georgian. If Akayev gets this, he would be 8 kilos ahead of the Georgian in the bronze medal position. Oh yes. Both of these Russians really on fire now.
We are asking for 196 kilos.
Explodes this off the stage. Looked very, very relaxed early on in the warm-up room. Things going his way. And from blue to red now for 196 kilos. Now, this is more than Dmitriy Klokov lifted in the Russian nationals by a kilo in preparation for this competition. So 196. He's heavier than his teammate, so he's got to go the extra kilo. This is his third and final attempt to move from silver to gold. Well, a new competition personal best for Dmitriy Klokov, who makes sure that bar stays on the platform, which it must. Alert to that.
What will he want for his third attempt?
So Dmitriy Klokov 3 out of 3. And Akayev resisting the temptation perhaps to go for a world record, but to focus on winning the competition, and he needs to build kilos in this first half of the competition. Hajimurat Akayev, look at this from Klokov. They are head to head, these two very strong Russians, and he just makes it look easy, doesn't he? So 198, and this is a new mark. This is just 2 kilos away from the world record. So it just gives you an idea of the quality of these men as athletes. This would, if he does it, put him 11 kilos ahead of the man in third place. Oh, absolutely perfect. What a sequence. What a sequence. Russia 1, Russia 2, but every time that Dmitriy Klokov has asked Arkayev, his teammate, for an answer, his teammate has answered, and that's absolutely brilliant. The two Russians have gone 3 out of 3, and they are commanding this competition at the halfway stage. That is spectacular lifting in this opening snatch phase by the two Russians. And the gold goes to the European champion, Khazimur Arkayev, 198 ahead of Dmitriy Klokov by 2 kilos. And then the third place man, Mokuba Yanni, 187 ahead by 2 kilos ahead of Poland's Bartłomiej Bąk in fourth place on 185. So two battles developing here for the medals as you look at Arkayev, the man in blue, and after a long time of really suffering some poor snatch phases, finally we get a really fantastic demonstration of lifting. Arkayev takes the gold, 2 kilo advantage. There you can see Mokuba Yanni in third place, 187, work to do, but he's in competition there with Bartłomiej Bąk for the overall bronze. Torokhtiy of the Ukraine not out of it either, and set off from the B group very, very light. Look at that, 94 kilo 65. Well